Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Courtside Story. Today we'll be summarizing the Clippers Mavs series, which was definitely, in my opinion, the most interesting series of this year's playoffs thus far.
It was,
Maybe,
yeah.
might be the best series of the entire playoffs. We'll get to know. But yeah, it went to Game 7. It has some interesting starts, has some interesting bumps, and so Jazz, why don't you start with?
Yeah, bro. See, as I was watching this series, I found myself for some reason rooting against the Clippers, right? And even I don't fully understand it.
Classic.
Like, I have no idea because it's not like I hate the Clippers, right? There's some local guys on the internet who are like, oh, fuck, it's because the Clippers are LA Lakers' younger brother. They're the annoying younger brother. They're a cursed franchise. They've never really had any success. But I don't see any reasons as to why that should be a reason why you hate a franchise. And like the other reason is okay, like people hate Paul George, and okay, that could be a reason. But I love Kawhi Leonard. I've come to expect less and less from Paul George as the years have gone by. So that's not really a problem for me. So I don't know. Maybe Clippers are a cursed franchise. Maybe it's just me wanting to see like the top dog get upset hilariously. But like I definitely think an aspect of that has been watching Luka Doncic bloom as an offensive player, right? Bloom as a player in general.
Offensive god.
Offensive god, right? Like I saw some comparisons on the internet of Luka to Harden, right? Of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's like a Harden who shows up, and they're not completely off. I feel like Luka is his own kind of offensive player. Like he's incorporated a lot of different things, a lot of different weapons into his offensive arsenal. And I think he'll definitely, if he goes down this path, he'll be remembered as one of the offensive all-time greats. Blooming as young as he is right now. I think possibly he's the only person since perhaps KD that we can consider as a legitimate GOAT candidate. So
I mean, it's too early to say, but like the potential is there if he goes on this
potential is
way.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you see, even in the end, even like considering all that, I feel the fact that it went to a 7-game series is like, I won't say it's embarrassing. It's a bad look for the Clippers, but it's not embarrassing, right? Like even the Nets weren't able to sweep the Boston Celtics despite being a much better team. And I think the Clippers were in the end a much better team. That is proven by the fact that they were able to close out this series. I think this is actually a good thing for the Clippers being tested like this early in the playoffs, because coming in, I'm sure they thought that, okay, we are a really good team. We have a lot of weapons. We should be able to make the finals. And I feel like that mindset sort of made them weaker because they didn't feel like they had to fight too much. They had the pieces,
So
but fighting is.
I I think like a couple of things went wrong for the Clippers quite early into this thing. Okay. So if you look at the Mavs regular season, they shot like they were not a good 3-point shooting team. Okay, they used to shoot like from 32% from three.
Yeah.
But dude, in the first two games, they came out swinging. Some Tim Hardaway Jr., fucking Jalen Brunson, and all they're all on steroids. Bro. I don't know
Beast, bro. Beast.
what the
But
fuck
see,
was going down. But like
I
they were
think,
shooting the first two games, bro. They were shooting 50% from three. Okay, and on the other hand, okay, the
half
Clippers
of
who were
those
the
being
lead,
Luka.
yeah, or Clippers on the other hand, who were the leading 3-point shooting team in the regular season, canned it and cocked it in the first two games. They were horrid. They shot
Yeah, yeah.
34% from three or something. All right,
Hmm.
but and also like we discussed this. It's bro, coaches rotations. Like there
Yeah.
was a glaring gap when you play Pat Bev on Luca, or when Luca could switch out to Zubac, right?
This motherfucker
Which was
Tyronn Lue was just faffing, bro. Like first few games, you just faffing. Like I think there's this hilarious clip on the internet where he's just daydreaming while the game is going on, imagining the previous times when he was with LeBron and how much easier it was. Like, see, I'll give him credit. He made the adjustments, the required adjustments in the
yeah,
end,
for
right?
sure, for sure, for
They
sure.
figured out that having Pat Bev in your starting lineup is not gonna do you any favors in the playoffs.
No, I mean maybe it will, but not against Luka Doncic.
Not against this particular matchup.
Yeah,
I think they did a very impressive job. I think Reggie Jackson has done a very impressive job stepping up when they called his number. They put him in the starting lineup, and there were stretches where it was just Reggie holding them up. He was hot as fuck.
that
Some
was
like
game. That was game 5, bro. Game 5 first quarter. Reggie Jackson came out and
yeah, we
scored
were talking about this
14
also.
points. It's
He
ridiculous.
just he stopped looking to pass and like make plays for PG and for Kawhi and for the others, and he just like he saw someone on him, he took a few dribbles and he came into his shot. And I think like he made a few very important threes, right, which gave the Clippers a lot of momentum, which gave them the ability to like stay in the game, stay in the series, stay in the lead. Because basketball is a game of stretches, and sorry, basketball is a game of runs. And if a particular team has momentum, it's very likely that they're going to be able to catch up. So, you know, and to stop that momentum is what marks a great team and a championship
Yeah,
caliber team.
for sure, for sure. On top of that, like I saw a lot of change when Kawhi started marking Luka after game two.
Mhm.
In game
Yeah,
three onwards, right? Started marking Luka,
yeah,
and that was like obviously he didn't mark Luka throughout the game. Luka would get out on the switch, but even and when they started playing the small ball lineup, right, with Batum at the 5 and
Nick Batum.
Morris at the 4,
Yeah.
right? Then when Luka used to switch out from Kawhi, he would get
Hmm.
Morris, who is also a good
Who's
defender,
also a
unlike
pretty fucking
Zubac.
decent defender. Yeah,
Yeah,
like Zubac is not going to be able to defend a paper fly. Okay,
let
Zubac will
alone
get.
Luka Doncic, bro.
Yeah, Luka Doncic is crossing Kawhi. He's crossing PG. He's doing everything possible to score, right? And nobody's able to stop him. And let alone Zubac. I don't think anyone in this league is gonna have a great shot at stopping Luka one-on-one.
No, you just got to try and slow him down.
Yeah, so but I think in the first few games I was getting really pissed off watching the Clippers defense because they were playing really weak. Like I think they came together a lot better towards like the latter half of the series as a defensive unit. But in the first few games, Kawhi was on Luka. And they would just
Yeah,
like there'd be a weak ass screen, and Kawhi just let the switch happen. I think they were switching everything, which they should not have allowed to happen. I definitely think like these primary defenders should have fought a lot harder to stay in front to like fight through
yeah,
the
for sure.
screen. So I think that they did a much better job of doing that. I think like also we've gone this far talking about the series without talking about Kawhi Leonard's epic Game 6 performance. Um, you know
Dude,
where
Kawhi Leonard was epic throughout the series. Just like Luka was epic throughout the series,
yeah,
Kawhi
yeah.
Leonard was also epic throughout the series. Like, bro,
Mhm.
it's really hard. If you ask me who was the best player on the court during the series, it's really
Mhm.
hard for me, bro, to decide.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
in the end, I have to give it to Kawhi Leonard because, well,
They see. I don't know. Like when you think about who's the best player, do you consider team? Like, do you consider the win? Do you consider the team around them or individual performance?
I'm considering an individual performance, bro, when I'm talking about best player on the team. Like, oh, sure, yeah, Luka could have reached the same conclusion with Kawhi, maybe.
Hmm.
Okay. But they're very different play styles. So you can't just compare them
Yeah.
head to head like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to compare them for what they've done. But I honestly think that this has given the Clippers a lot of momentum and it will probably be very good for them, you know?
Yeah, it's a good experience for them to be able to face this kind of competition this early in the playoffs and like really lock in. I think now they won't take any series going forward like for
Yeah,
granted because you know
for sure.
sometimes what these teams good teams do is they see another like they've seen the Lakers in the same conference and they think okay the Lakers are our only opponents. They're
Yeah,
the
yeah.
team that we're going to have to prepare for. Everyone else
They
is going to
made this
be
mistake.
cakewalk.
They made this mistake last year.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly. And
yeah, let's hope that they don't because I would really like to see them come out of the West. But I guess with that, we've discussed pretty much everything that's happened in the series. Or
yeah,
Luka's awesome 40-point games, Kawhi's awesome 40-point games. It'll be interesting to watch the Clippers move forward. I think the next series will be super interesting. I'm psyched for game one.
yeah.
But let's hope that they get out of the West.